Now imagine that same quarter being worth not just a few dollars, not just a few hundred, but $49,000, or $60,000, or in the most unbelievable and extremely rare cases, even close to $100,000. Sounds crazy, right? But this is exactly why collectors all over the world are checking their change right now, because the 1967 Washington quarter has become one of the most talked about coins thanks to a few rare and wild mint errors that can turn a simple 25-cent coin into a treasure worth more than a new car, or even a down payment on a house. So if you have a 1967 quarter in your home, your wallet, or an old box of coins, don't go anywhere. This story might just change how you look at pocket change forever. Back in 1967, the United States Mint was dealing with huge production demands. People were using more coins than ever, silver had just been removed from quarters a couple of years earlier, and the mint was rushing to keep up. Because of that rush, a handful of mistakes slipped through, mistakes that would later turn into extremely valuable error coins. Most 1967 quarters are very common because the mint made over 1.5 billion of them. You can find them everywhere. But what makes this year exciting is that a very small number have mistakes so unusual that collectors will pay huge amounts of money to own them. And this is where stories of $49,000 and $60,000 sales come from. Even though not every error reaches that level, the possibility alone has created a huge wave of excitement. One of the most famous and most loved types of rare errors on the 1967 quarter is a double die. A double die is created when the die. The metal stamp used to strike coins is stamped twice by accident but in slightly different positions. When that happens, the words or images on the coin look doubled, like they have a shadow. On a 1967 quarter, doubling can appear on the date, on the word liberty, on Washington's face, or on the words "In God We Trust." Even small doubling can give the coin extra value, sometimes hundreds. Big, strong doubling can send the value into the thousands. Some collectors have paid very high amounts. Thousands and thousands, especially when the doubling is clean and the coin is in top grade. These coins can turn a regular pocket quarter into something worth framing, protecting, and selling for serious money. Another extremely exciting error is when a 1967 quarter is struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank disc used to make a coin. Sometimes, by mistake, the wrong blank gets used. Imagine a quarter getting struck on a penny blank or a dime blank. Suddenly, the coin is the wrong size or wrong color, but it still has the quarter design on it. That kind of accident is so rare that collectors go wild for it. Some wrong planchet 1967 quarters have sold for thousands of dollars, and special cases with high grades and strong visual appeal get even more attention. These are the types of errors that can push values into outrageous numbers, even hitting that $49,000 to $60,000 mark if the coin is one of a kind and collectors are fighting over it at auction. A few people claim to have seen examples approach the $100,000 range, and while these are extremely rare and not common at all, it shows just how massive the potential value can be when a dramatic mint mistake is involved. There are also clipped planchet errors, where part of the coin is missing, almost as if someone took a bite out of it. These happen when the metal strip used to cut the blanks overlaps incorrectly, slicing off a piece before the coin is even made. These clips can be curved or straight, and bigger clips usually mean bigger value. Some of these have sold for thousands too, especially when the rest of the design is sharp and clean. Off-center strikes are another fun one. This error happens when the blank isn't lined up right when the coin is struck, leaving part of the design pushed to one side or missing entirely. Small off-centers might be worth tens of dollars, but large off-centers like 50% or more can be worth hundreds or thousands, especially with a visible date. There's also the missing clad layer error, where the top layer of the coin is missing. A normal 1967 quarter has a copper core in the middle and a copper-nickel layer on the outside. When the top layer is gone, the coin looks strange, almost like a copper coin, and collectors love unusual pieces like that. These mistakes aren't as rare as double dies or wrong planchets, but they can still bring in strong prices, especially in high grades. All of these errors together are what make the 1967 quarter so fun to hunt for. Even though most 1967 quarters are worth only face value, every once in a while someone discovers one with a rare error that makes their coin worth far more than anyone expected. And that's what keeps the excitement alive. People love the idea that a coin sitting in their drawer could be hiding a secret, a rare mistake worth thousands or even tens of thousands. While not every story of a $60,000 or $100,000 quarter is confirmed, the truth is that rare errors have reached extremely high numbers when the right buyers are involved. The coin world can get intense, especially when a collector wants to complete a special set or own a mistake that almost nobody else has. If you want to know whether your own 1967 quarter might be special, start by looking closely at it under good light. Check the date, the words, Washington's face, and both sides of the coin. Look for doubling, missing metal, weird shapes, odd colors, or anything unusual. Compare the weight if you can. Quarters struck on the wrong planchet often weigh too little. You never know what you might find, and even a small mistake can make your coin valuable. Many collectors send their coins to grading companies to get them authenticated and given an official grade, which can raise the value even higher. So if you have a 1967 quarter, don't ignore it. Don't toss it aside. Look at it closely, because the next big discovery could be sitting right in your hand. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one who finds the 1967 era quarter worth $49,000, $60,000, or even in the most unbelievable dream cases close to $100,000. Keep your eyes open, check your change, and who knows? Your next big treasure might be as small as a quarter. In this video we talk about why some of these nickels are so rare, why collectors love them, and how a simple coin you already own might be worth so much money that it could shock you. The 1990 Jefferson nickel is part of the long-running nickel series that shows Thomas Jefferson on the front and his home, Monticello, on the back. Millions and millions of these coins were made at the Denver Mint because they were meant for everyday use, so normally people think they are common and not special at all. And in most cases, that is true. A used, worn-out 1990 nickel is usually only worth its face value of 5 cents. But the amazing part is that a tiny number of these coins survived in incredible condition. A few of them were struck so perfectly that every detail on the coin looks sharp, bright, and clean, especially the steps on the building on the back of the coin. Collectors call this the full steps strike, and it is one of the biggest reasons a nickel can jump from 5 cents to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Full steps coins are rare because most nickels are not struck with perfect pressure, and small details get blurred or flattened. Over time these coins also get worn, scratched, and damaged, so finding one that still has crisp steps is like finding a little treasure hiding in your change. And it gets even better. Some 1990 nickels have sold for huge prices when they were graded by professional coin grading companies such as PCGS or NGC. Grading companies check the coin under strong lights and magnification and give it a number grade that shows how perfect it is. Grades go from 1 to 70, with 70 being the best. A regular uncirculated 1990 nickel might get a grade like MS63 or MS64, and those coins can be worth a bit more than face value, but not enough to make anyone jump with excitement. But when a 1990 nickel gets a grade like MS66 or MS67 and also has full steps, that's when things get wild. One of these rare coins has sold for over $1,000, and another example, an extremely high grade, has sold for over $2,000. Imagine that, a simple nickel worth more than a brand new laptop, a vacation trip, or even a month's rent. What makes this so exciting is that these coins are not locked away only in museums. They are out there. They could be in someone's coin jar, in a family drawer, in a bankroll, or even in your own pocket without you realizing it. That is why so many collectors search through rolls of nickels and look carefully at every coin they get back as change. They know that every now and then someone will find a little jackpot. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1990 nickels? First, you want to look for the D mint mark, which is on the front of the coin next to the portrait. That tells you the coin was made in Denver. Then you want to check the overall condition. Look for a clean surface with minimal scratches, no heavy marks, and a bright shine if possible. Finally, check the steps on Monticello, the building on the back. Under a good light or a magnifying glass you should look for clear, separate lines in the steps. The more steps you can clearly see without breaks, the better. If it looks perfect, you may have a full steps coin. That is what collectors want the most. If you think your coin might be special, it could be worth sending it to a grading service to get an official grade. A raw, ungraded coin might not sell for as much because buy want proof of its condition, but a professionally graded one could go from a few dollars to hundreds or even thousands instantly. The hunt for these coins is part of the excitement. That is why this story makes such a fun and surprising topic for viewers. It shows that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones we overlook, the tiny objects we use every day without thinking. The idea that a small nickel could secretly be worth a fortune is the kind of twist that makes people watch all the way to the end, waiting to find out exactly how rare and valuable these coins can be. Many people dream of finding treasure, and this is one of the few times where treasure might be sitting right in your pocket. This nickel teaches people that small details matter. A tiny difference in how the coin was struck can mean a massive difference in its value. It also shows viewers that coins are more than just money, they are history, art, and collectibles all in one. The Jefferson nickel series has been around for decades, but the 1990 stands out because of these surprising high-value examples. Even though most of them are ordinary, the rare ones shine like stars. If you ever find one of these nickels in perfect shape, especially one with full steps, you could be holding something worth a huge amount of money. It might be the most valuable 5 cents you ever touch. And that is why you should always check your coins carefully. You never know when you might be the lucky person who finds a hidden treasure. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to keep watching, because the world of coins is full of surprising secrets, and some of the most valuable treasures are still waiting to be discovered in everyday life.